All right, everyone, welcome back into another PrizePicks Underdog live stream. Going to be covering, really just college basketball, NBA, and NHL in this video. The reason I'm going live is because, well, I was doing the research for today. I'm like, man, this is the best board that we have gotten in a while. If you guys have been following the coverage, it's like really since NBA All-Star break, the boards have been a lot tighter, really, in terms of odds, like EV betting. And right now, as it sits, I think it's because of March Madness. So many good quality bets. Now, I'm going to get into that right away. I want to highlight those right away as well. If there are questions that are coming in the comment section, you can get those in. I will probably be answering those at the end of the video, though, just as an FYI. I want to get through these picks, especially while we are getting all that kind of information. And just to highlight, these are some of the bets that I had written up. I know that the first one is already gone. Unfortunately, it was set at 12.5 for a decent portion of the morning, but still not a terrible bet. So I'll be going through and covering these really throughout this whole video. So just as an FYI there. And then let me just switch into college basketball here. Change this to college basketball. I wasn't planning on going live. It's just there's so many great bets that I wanted to cover. So we're going to cover those. I've actually been waiting for this. I know for a while there I was saying, I'll go live more often in the mornings, and then the boards just were not great. So looking at these ones right here, guys, I don't think there's any good props out right now for the early games, for the games that are about to kick off now. There were, like I said, we did have this one, JP Pugs, I think that's how you say his name, was under 12.5 points, heavily favored at that. It was like minus 155. No longer need to take that. It's actually relieving because he has been going off. Obviously, gets a much more difficult opponent against UVA. Virginia is one of the best defensive teams in the nation, so maybe we're getting lucky there. And then just looking at these ones are currently tight. I'm perfectly kind of happy that we're not getting these ones anymore. If we were to force one, maybe Hart, who's minus 130 to get over, probably wouldn't be chasing that. And then Stevenson as well. He was someone I wanted to bet. Minus 130 as well to get over this. So I'm just not touching those, but kind of just want to call those out as well. Then just real quickly, I'm looking at other props that we might have from the other early game. Really none. So let's just go ahead and get into the prop bets that were standing out this morning. I already highlighted a couple of them. So we got Hawkins here. Hopefully this one didn't change. It did. Gosh. It's so frustrating, guys. Let's see if it's still available on Underdog. Actually, here we go. It was at 10.5 as an FYI earlier. Now it's at 11.5. So we kind of lost that one as well. Okay, so I believe it's still available on Underdog here. Let's just double check that here. Now, guys, I am far from a college basketball expert or anything like that. I definitely did my research and whatnot, but just want to call that out. So, yes, the average sportsbook line, DraftKings Sportsbook, has it set at 11.5. Okay, so the average sportsbook lines actually have this set at minus 140 for over 10.5. And so we can see DraftKings Sportsbook is also still favoring the over here, but at 11.5. So pulling it up here, we can see that lately hasn't been over. It's kind of shocking that we are getting that line. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, not a college basketball expert by any means. We're just tracing the lines. We are chasing the great bets that we are getting. So if you were to place this bet, you would place it on Underdog where it is still available. I'm actually wondering, do we still have that JP one here on here as well? Probably not. Oh, 12. Okay. Just want to check that. And this is honestly why I wanted to go live. It's just that because that bet might be taken away. And then let's just take a peek here. Let's see what Hawkins kind of averages on the seasons. Just wondering. This is weird. 13 points. Okay. Doesn't get that many minutes. Is someone injured for Howard? Obviously, I didn't do much Howard research, guys. No one's injured. That's weird. Isn't that weird? maybe just a high scoring game. Let's check out the game line for that one. And like I said, if there are any comments coming in, I'll try to get to those at the end of this video. If you guys, I know the community, the chat's awesome. It gives out a lot of great content. That's the beauty of PrizePicks and Underdog, is that we're all trying to beat them. So if you guys have any props that you guys like and want to discuss in the comments, feel free to. Howard, I guess, kind of a high scoring game. That could be why we're getting that prop for Hawkins. So if you guys want to make it on Underdog, you can. Other one that got bumped. Oh, gosh, I feel like I was 10 minutes too late to go live. That's unfortunate, because literally right before I scheduled the live stream, I checked these ones and they're still there. So let's check Underdog here for this one as well. This was set at 12.5. Like, they're still, like, that's still not a bad bet. Okay, this is set at 13 now. Crazy. Interesting that that's at 13. Like, still not a terrible bet, I guess, on PrizePicks. It's just being valued more at a push. I would say we don't need to make that bet because it'd feel like we are forcing it. And yeah, I mean, we can see now minus 160 on DraftKings to get over that. That is pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much being valued as a push on PrizePicks. So if you want to play that one, you still could there. Just not one that we're really chasing. For what it's worth, I'm actually curious. I don't think this number went up. Let me just check his points and rebounds prop, because I don't think that changed. So if they bumped his, points up, then his points and rebounds prop should have been bumped. Yeah. So this is actually a decent edge there. Then on PrizePicks, we can see DraftKings is setting this line at 20.5, right? Instead of betting points, well, we can do points, rebounds, and assists, which I personally like because we are building a better floor there. I guess the biggest issue here would be the game potentially blowing out too fast. And, obviously that can happen, but yeah, okay, I need to write this one down here. Let me add this to the bet section as well of the video here. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. What do we do here? Star. This one's no longer available. It's tough. UD for Hawkins. There we go. I think that works. So obviously we'll get into the rest of these here as well. Oh, 19.5. Let's do 19.5. Because the odds are 20 on. That's the thing, guys. It really seems like because March Madness is going on right now that we are finally getting a favorable board. I don't want to say we've been forcing bets in there, but at the same time, it does feel like the boards have just been tighter. So like the edges we've been getting, and it makes sense with NBA, right? Like second half of the season, teams are just doing weird stuff. And maybe that's why there hasn't been as many bets out there as well on the boards, but we are finally getting a favorable board and one in which we can attack. It is like so good that I really don't know where we should really be starting. That's the biggest issue that I have, is that we're just getting too many good bets, really. And so it's going to be really up to you guys to decide which ones you like the most. Okay, so this one's not available. I'm trying to look at the rebound prop here. This is one of the better ones we were getting as well. Let's see if we have it available on PrizePicks. We do. Okay, so Dockery over 2.5 rebounds. Okay, this is Howard. And so across the sportsbooks, on average, this was set at minus 140 for the over. Okay, so another really good bet. Like I'm saying, like we haven't got boards like this in literally since the NBA All-Star break, where we were getting so many good bets. Or since before the NBA All-Star break. It's funny because like literally right before the NBA All-Star break, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to start going live once we get these, like, I don't want to say free squares, but really strong bets, like value-wise, and then they just weren't there. Now we have them. So looking at, minus 140 here on DraftKings Sportsbook for over 2.5 rebounds. That is a pretty good bet that we are getting. So we can pair that together. The only issue is that if you're trying to use the Hawkins prop, I guess it doesn't matter on because it wasn't available on Underdog and it's available on PrizePicks, so that doesn't matter. All right, so we got a couple more that I want to get. Well, we got a bunch more. I got like 15 bets that I wanted to cover. That's why I'm not highlighting any questions right now and whatnot. I'll try to get to that at the end of the video. All right, let's see here. Okay. So looking at this one was extremely interesting as well. Terrence Shannon over 3.5 rebounds. Now the average sportsbook line is only set at minus 130 for this, for the over, but the under is set at plus 120. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into a no vig calculator, a juice calculator. So minus 130. You guys the correct odds here. So let's see, 55% chance for this one to hit for the over. Okay, so another decent prop that we're getting. And like I said, guys, not a college basketball expert. We are literally just chasing the favorable odds that we are getting right now. And so this is obviously one on paper that really stands out. And then once again, let's see if that's available on Underdog. And at the end of this, I will be doing the NBA coverage and NHL coverage as well. Just right now, we are getting some favorable ones for college basketball. Let's see, are we getting that one here? We are as well, so you can make that bet on Underdog as well. Maybe we put that one out there. And guys, it might not seem like much. I know most people are familiar kind of with the structure of kind of EV betting. Pretty much we are looking for odds that are going to be favored basically on average over minus 137. With that specific bet that I'm calling out for Shannon, it's because the under odds are favored, not favored. The under odds are at plus 120, so it kind of balances the likelihood, the probability of that bet hitting. All right, so now we got another one. We're going to be looking at points, rebounds, and assists. We got Slauson here. And this is only available on DraftKings Sportsbook, the odds I'm looking at. So we can see 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And so if we go back to DraftKings Sportsbook, and if we go to points, rebounds, and assists for the combo, just to highlight it for you guys. And so that's the thing. All the other bets up until this point, I should call this up, were based off of the average odds across sportsbooks. So really, I mean, there are so many odds that are going into this. When I was looking at those, it was like 10 different sportsbooks that we're pulling in. Now I'm just going to be directly going off of DraftKings. And I want to really point this out because it is crazy how different the odds are for college basketball for all the sportsbooks. Literally, they are all spread out. And it's like, yes, it might be 1 point here or there, but for instance, I'll go back to this one. This one, to start the day, it was like at 11.5. Some people had it at 12.5. And I think I might have even saw 13.5. But like the odds that they had associated with it were so different. Okay, so that's the thing with college basketball. It doesn't seem like any sportsbooks really have a good lock on where the numbers should be. And obviously it kind of makes sense. March Madness as well. It does seem like there's a little bit more variance in that as well. But looking at this one, let's go back to Slauson. This is the under we're looking at. Okay, yeah, under. So under 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists at minus 140. Okay, and this is DraftKings Sportsbook that we're only looking at. Didn't see any available for any other sportsbooks, but let's pull it up here as well. This game is about to start. But we can see kind of been hit or miss. And I think the reason why we are getting the under here is simply the matchup with Virginia. Virginia is one of the best defensive teams in the nation, although Furman can get out and score. It's a very fun matchup, to be honest with you. I believe Furman is one of those teams that really can go out and shoot the three ball, so they're very much hot or cold. Let's see if we can find Slauson. So yeah, the shot attempts should be there for him. It's just whether or not he's hitting them. And I'm kind of curious, had they faced any good opponent? I mean, obviously they've faced some. They're not a terrible team to bet to cover either. Let's see. About 18, 19. I mean, like, in theory, based off of his averages, he should be able to get over. It's just that Virginia defense. You're really just betting on that Virginia defense here. That's up to you guys. Now, this one was probably one of my favorites. Just in theory, I would assume that Houston should be able to blow out their opponent. And if we look at the over and under for this game, see, it's a big spread, right? And this might be a situation. I don't know if we have first half props available here, but you could bet a first half prop here. Now, it's not the highest scoring game, and that could be a worry for people. But let's pull this one up here as well. You can see Roberts is favored at minus 140 to get over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And personally, I like the player combos like that. But really, this is going to be for you guys to decide. Obviously, we can see a couple of games in there, a little bit hit or miss. And so I guess we can go ahead and pull up his averages as well. And so the biggest worry would be that we saw in some of those games that were blowouts, he really just didn't get there. The minutes weren't there. So really, we're hoping that Northern Kentucky can keep it close for long enough, and thus he can get there. I'm just curious. Let's pull that one up on Underdog as well, see if that one's available. Or Roberts, no. Okay, so they do have that same line available on Underdog as well. Okay, so we got about 3 more college basketball props here. And at the end of this segment, I'll kind of glance through the comments to see if anyone had any other college basketball props that they felt were locks. And then if not, I'm just going to go ahead and get into the NHL props. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. So once again, these bets that I'm highlighting now are just going to be bets that are only odds I was looking at DraftKings Sportsbook. So we're looking at over 0.53s. This is favored at minus 140. We can see he has been getting there. I'm actually very curious as to how many shot attempts he's been getting, though. So let's pull that up. Not available on today's slate. Oh, it's Friday. Okay. So this is one for Friday, and I'm going to star this one for tomorrow's video as well. Hopefully it's still there. We'll see. Yeah, this one's minus 140 for the over, though. And then we got Kendrick Davis, and I don't like this one as well. Obviously, looking at this, I wonder. I think this game's projected to stay close. Let's just double check that as well. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, so this game is projected to stay close. I'm a little bit surprised that this is at 2.5, and they are favoring the under at minus 140. So probably just one we're staying away from. And let's just double check that, make sure I wrote it down correctly. Like I said, I was trying to go fast to get out the live coverage so we could get a couple of those really strong odd bets that we were getting. Okay. Oh, it's freaking over. Oh no, I'm looking at Davis. That's right. Okay, so yeah, Kendrick Davis was the under there is what they're favoring. minus 140. Let's see if those are available on Underdog as well. I like looking at that because to me, it tells us kind of the strength of the bet. If Underdog has taken away a prop like that, then we kind of know that they think they're leaving themselves susceptible a little bit too much for a bet like that. So they don't have it available for that one. So I got Hogard. They do have that one available. Okay, so good to know. And then we have one more here. The last one that we are going to be looking at here is going to be looking at Boyd over 1.53s. I'll pull that one up here again. I'm guessing this is a Friday one as well. Yep, so we see minus 140 here for Boyd. This one is available on DraftKings Sportsbook as well. So good to know. So I'm looking at some comments here, just kind of scrolling through it here. Yeah, good morning to everyone here. Pretty awesome. It's kind of fun to do the morning live stream. It actually is. So I don't really like to highlight this too much, but it is. So this is what I'm doing for a full-time job. So the website, YouTube videos. I do other stuff, part-time work as well. Occupy Fantasy, NBA. Do live streams on there, do content on there. So make sure to check those out. It's fun. Yeah, honestly, I think so. Preston brings up a good point. These are extremely high. Like to start the day, and they already went. I think they already locked, but they were pretty high. They wanted people. Everyone loves to bet the over, right? And so it seems like they were doing that on purpose. I did notice that as well. We need a hack collection video one day. Oh, geez, these are awesome. You guys are awesome. I actually have thought about that. That's great. So, all right, I'm just going to highlight some bets that some people are calling out. TJ Shannon. So some people like TJ Shannon. All right. And I'm just highlighting these comments just so everyone else can see them as well during the video if they come back to them. Ooh, here we go. Mason calling out Kobe Brown points. Bumped to 16.5, still at 15.5. All right, that's awesome. So, yeah. Really like the Shannon points rebounds, 23.5. All right, all right. Let's see here. And guys, like the comment section knows, like, got a pretty solid group here, so that's why I'm highlighting these just so everyone can see. And Ryan Lawson over assist. Okay. All right. So yes, we're gonna go on and get into some NHL props. So I didn't really see this one for Crosby. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight NHL props, and that's not to say that's not a good prop. If I didn't see one, it doesn't mean it's a bad one. To me, it's more or less I'm going to be favoring the ones that I saw that were good. If anyone else thinks that this is a good prop, let us know in the comments as well, or in the chat as well. So yes, let's go ahead and get into the NHL props. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure to just thumbs up the video, the live stream. That does help out the channel a decent amount, actually. So looking at the first one, and I'm actually curious as to if DraftKings has come out with this prop yet. I was looking at all the other props that we had, and the other NHL props that we were getting had this set at minus 150 for the under. And let me just make sure that that is still there. It is. So this is looking at like Bet Rivers, Unibet, like not really good sports books, honestly. And so DraftKings and FanDuel have not come out with their props yet for this one. But based off of those other ones, they have under 2.5 shots on goal set at minus 150. So I just want to call that out. Maybe we do wait until the DraftKings odds come out on that one, but also maybe the bet gets changed once the DraftKings odds come out. Are you kidding me? That's annoying. There's nothing worse than having like a really good bet, wanting to get into it, and then they take it away. So let's see here. I'll pull it up on Underdog as well. So they had Victor Hedman, 2.5 shots on goal, minus 145. Let's see if that's available on Underdog. Oh, okay. So they dropped it down to 2. It's unfortunate. We got a couple more, though. Let's see if they're available. All right, so Jason Sucker is another one that we got here. So I'll pull him up on DraftKings Sportsbook as well. You can see minus 140 for the under shots on goal. It's going to be true across all the other sportsbooks as well. So another one that we could potentially make. These are just like, obviously EV bets that we're trying to make. Then another one in which I believe it was the under 3.5 shots on goal at minus 140 as well. So we are getting so many minus 140 bets. It's really kind of for you guys to decide which ones you like the best. Obviously, what I like to do is find the best odd bets and place them all in 2-leg bets, and kind of just do whatever, maybe 6 on the day, 6 of my favorite ones on the day, all individual bets, and kind of just combine that together. And so if 3 of them hit, it's kind of like the tacos. If 3 of them hit, that's fine. If 4 of them hit, we're sitting very well. If 5 of them hit, we're making a lot. And if all of them hit, that's never going to happen. It does, but not too frequently. Then we're obviously just sitting really pretty. And then I just want to check those 2 out on Underdog as well, see if they're available. Okay, so this is a good thing. So, look at this. Underdog already has this prop bump to 3. Good thing to know. And then this one's still available. So we can kind of see that this is probably going to be one that's going to not be available. So we could make it there. And let's see if Hedman's available on Underdog. Oh, yeah, I already checked that one. It's at 2. So just interesting stuff there as a whole. And so I think it's time to get into some NBA bets. And that's actually, dude, comment section can read my mind sometimes. That is funny. So Nick Claxton fantasy points. I'll start with that one. So this, I hate that this one is actually looking pretty good. And I phrase that in a weird way, but it's true. Claxton, it was an annoying game in his last game. He had 3 blocks throughout the day, and then they took away 2 of them. And so he actually ended up under his fantasy points. So if we pull up Nick Claxton, looking at his fantasy points, and this is still a work in progress, kind of the Vegas line with the fantasy points, just as an FY. This is based off of the props that we're getting for the day, so I'm just assuming that we haven't gotten maybe a points or assist or rebounds prop for him yet, and that's kind of why this is low. So just kind of ignore that. We're just looking at the projection. The projection says he should be at 35 today. PrizePicks line has it set at 32.5, so a pretty good one that we're getting there. We can kind of just see across the board, it should be one that is pretty solid. Projected to get 30 minutes, and let's just see the minutes he's actually been getting lately. I feel like it was higher than that. Obviously, great matchup. I shouldn't say great matchup, good enough matchup going against the Kings as well. So yeah, he has been someone that's been getting more run recently. Like I said, he had 3 blocks that they took away and moved it down to just 1. Against Denver, only 28 minutes. Wonder if that was because of foul trouble. I would say more times than not, Claxton's going to be able to get over here. And it probably just boils down to how many blocks he gets. And so I'm kind of curious. Let's see what something like DraftKings Sportsbook has him projected to get for blocks. As you can use another sportsbook, to me, it's just, this is set up so much better. DraftKings Sportsbook is set up so much better for giving you guys kind of the easy to see information. So they do have, minus 185 for over, and this is just blocks, right? For over 1.5 blocks. So if he gets 2 blocks, it's going to be tough to imagine him not getting his over fantasy score there. So yeah, that's not a terrible bet. It was kind of one that did stand out to me when I was kind of looking at it. But you guys, I think by now you guys kind of know my thoughts on really the whole Brooklyn Nets. Is that consistently we could bet probably 3 out of the 4 to get over their fantasy score, and that's going to happen. Maybe not DFS, but Claxton, Cameron Johnson, and then we got Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think Spencer Dinwiddie is finally a little bit too high, guys. I feel like that is too high. And then we also have Mikal Bridges, who they're finally priced up. It took a while for PrizePicks to get there, but they're all kind of finally priced to where they should be. And I'm actually curious, does Underdog have any of these available as well? Let's see. They have Fox available. They have Sabonis at 46. Does that seem high? Mikal Bridges at 39. They have. So accurate between FanDuel for Mikal Bridges there. Let's see. I'm actually curious. Sabonis at 47 almost. That seems pretty crazy. They got it about the same there. And then Fox was at 42. Let's see here. Okay, so those are the same. And now while we're doing this, let's just take a peek. So we got SGA, Josh Giddey, 49 and 35. Okay, so that's about the same. Siakam, 39. Van Fleet, 41. And this is something I just like to do really just every day to see, like, if there is an edge that we're getting between Underdog and PrizePicks, because it's game in the game. You know, if we can find an edge on one of these sites and kind of attack that, that's obviously what we want to do. So we got Giannis here, 58.75, and then any other ones? No. So let's see Giannis here. Okay, so let's actually take a peek at Giannis. I wonder if I have his projections yet. So we're getting about a full point difference between PrizePicks and Underdog. So let's just take a peek there. See if we have any Giannis props available just yet. Okay, so when I started this video, I don't think we had the fantasy score just yet. But let's see here. All these are kind of a little bit different than what PrizePicks has as well for points. So interesting. All the props are a little bit higher than what PrizePicks has. So yeah, I could see, you know, it's one of those situations where I really don't mind kind of betting both. Bet the over on PrizePicks, bet the under on Underdog. It's fine. I got Bridges at 38. Oh, that got bumped up for Bridges. Interesting there. Bergeron just got lowered. Who is the PrizePick employee that watches these videos? I'm kidding, but it's kind of annoying, the timing of it. Is this like I said, I'm not a college basketball expert. Is this a college basketball prop? I wouldn't know. If anyone else can provide some input, please do. And then, so yeah, while we're just doing the rest of the fantasy props, let's just go ahead and take a peek at them. Seeing which edges we have. So Josh Okogie, it likes, I shouldn't say the data likes, I guess. I don't really see it. So we do have his kind of what his Vegas line would be if we were to kind of take his points expectation, his rebounds, assists expectation based off the Vegas lines and kind of put that formula into the PrizePicks, whatever, 1.3 times whatever PrizePicks has for rebounds and whatnot. It would be set at 22.01, so slightly lower. Now, if we look at his projection, would be slightly higher, and it really just depends on playing time. 31 minutes. If he gets 31 minutes, should be able to get there. Let's go ahead and check out his minutes, actually. Previous games. So he has been getting more run with Katie gone, and obviously with Mikal Bridges gone. Hasn't really been shooting the ball all too well. I guess from 3-ball range, been pretty good, but as a whole, not that great, and still been able to kind of get there. Not a terrible one. Personally, I don't like it, but data likes it, and I'll tell you guys what, my biggest mistakes each slate are the ones in which I don't kind of trust the data. Oh, we got Jalen Williams out. Let's see that. All right, so we got some questions coming in. Jakob Poeltl, fantasy points. Let me take a peek at him real quick. 35, jeez. It's so, like, this is the toughest part. Like, it's a mental block for me because I remember when we were getting him at, like, literally 28, 29, 31 when he was just traded there. I mean, it's not terrible given the matchup. Let's see what the projections have him, or if we have him. Like I said, I I started going live before all the projections were out. I'm guessing it's going to be lower, but not by much. All right. So it is lower because obviously he spent a lot of time with the Spurs, wasn't getting as many minutes, and his kind of role is slightly different. So it is looking at the lower, but if you look at what his prop line should be based off of the Vegas numbers that we're getting, 39.73. So it should be tighter, but obviously given the matchup with OKC, could easily get there. That's a very interesting one there for Jakob Poeltl. To me, it feels like we're forcing it a little bit, but I definitely wouldn't talk anyone off of it either. And so, yeah, let's take a peek at the Jalen Williams ones. So Jalen Williams, fantasy score, it is a much more difficult matchup, but he is the one player that we have been accurately able to say his minutes aren't going to change at all. Because he has been getting the minutes, whereas SGA, Josh Giddey, they've randomly been getting pulled out of games. So it's really for you guys to decide if you guys want to trust that. And what do you guys think? Could we do another OKC stack? I know we did that kind of in the last game as well. I feel like that could be the move, is doing maybe 3 of those. And then maybe Jakob Poeltl as well. Hopefully the game is high scoring. Let's check out that. The game over and under. Not too much of a blowout risk. 231. Not too crazy there. Yeah, we could do that. Let's see what Giddey's is again. Giddey's is probably right. SGA feels a little bit too high. Probably not touching SGA there, I guess. Josh Giddey we could do. Giddey and Jalen Williams over fantasy points paired with, see, Pascal Siakam. I know he's sucked lately. That's the Jakob Poeltl effect, apparently. Fred VanVleet we could potentially do. This is going to be the toughest matchup for Jalen Williams, I think, recently, but that's still such a good number. Oh, yeah, so Jalen Williams points, rebounds, and assists a lot of people want to see. Let's just take a peek at that. Let's see the difference. Oh, that is pretty low. Yeah, that'd probably be the one that we do. Let's see what DraftKings Sportsbook has it set at as well. Yeah, that feels high for SGA, does it not? I could be completely wrong there, honestly, but it seems high for SGA. Jalen Williams on DraftKings has set at 24.5. Let's see 24.5. Let's see Underdog, what they have. It definitely feels too low. 4.5. All right, let's see if we have any projections for him just yet. So he is projected to get over that as well. Interesting. And like this is based off of 33 minutes. We saw that he's recently been getting more minutes than that. Obviously, if the game stays close, more likely to get a few more minutes. That is an interesting one. I don't mind that. That's a good call out. I was on Jalen Williams last night. Yeah, that's geez. All right. It's kind of crazy the amount of different sportsbooks that there are out there giving lines and whatnot. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to kind of just the data board here to see what bets we have. I'll be probably getting out of here shortly. Got college March Madness to watch now. All right, so let's see here. And actually, I want to try to do and push an update real quick on my end. I want to see your guys' thoughts are on this kind of prop board that I've worked on a slight update. Because a lot of people are asking, like, sometimes we'll have over odds, but the projection is favored at under, and like kind of why we're calling that out. So kind of wanted to point that out. And I guess I won't push that. What I'm trying to do is I want to color code it so that when we have an over bet that's highlighted, based off of the over odds, but the projection is lower, this would be red. And I kind of think that's a good idea, just to make it easier for people to kind of see the information when they're either watching the video or using the tool. So I think that's an update I'll do. But yeah, looking at it. So Chris Paul over assists 132 minus 132.5. But we can see slightly projected under. Typically speaking, I don't like to chase those prop bets. And then really we're not getting that many good ones. Like the best one that we're looking at is probably Killian Hayes over 9.5 rebounds and assists. But we know Killian Hayes has really been hit or miss. And to me, it depends on, is Alec Burks active tonight? Alec Burks is out. Okay, so that does help him a little bit. Jaden Ivey, is he going to be active? That's another thing we got to see. He is probable. So yeah, I don't know if that helps out Killian Hayes. His minutes are going to be there. And he has been, kind of productive in the assist department. Wish he was getting a little bit more rebounds. What was that line set at? Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it. What's the game over under? I'm sure it's a blowout. Yeah, 14.5. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, on paper, this isn't a bad one, but we could see maybe with Jaden Ivey projected to be back, maybe he doesn't get as many minutes as he had been. Let's see his projected minutes, 31.8. We can see kind of based off of the minutes, should be able to get over, so it's okay. And then let's see here. We got Markelle Fultz, points and assists. I kind of like Orlando in terms of stacking as well. They seem like a team that has been kind of undervalued lately as well, because they finally have been getting more minutes. And so Markelle Fultz, if he's going to continue to get run, it does seem like it's too low. And then let's see here. Wagner, this seems too low as well if he's still going to get that run. Now, I know the matchup's not perfect against Phoenix, but these all seem a little bit too low for Orlando to me. But what was the one that was popping up the most for Fultz? And this is only minus 125, so it's far from a lock, but it's going to be points and rebounds. Let's check out his last few games as well. The issue is that, like, we know he's not going to really get more than, let's say, 31. There are occasions in which he does, but I just like that he's finally getting the consistent 30 minutes. Like, we know more likely than not, it's going to be at 30. So points and assists. 9 point. That's rebounds and assists. 19.5. Man, it seems about right. But yeah, it's more. And guys, when I say stacks, like, I really don't mind. We're betting on the game when we do that. So, like, if we were to do like Wagner over fantasy points, I actually don't mind Markelle Fultz over fantasy points. Like, we're betting on how the game's going to play. And I kind of like doing that better with some of these teams. We see Banchero's been a little bit better, and that's just because the minutes have been there for those guys. So, not terrible. Obviously, like, that strategy, it's not going to work out every night. Typically speaking, there's going to be one player that kind of upsets that. But I know with the OKC Brooklyn one, that did work out. Let's see here. Banchero. Yeah, I mean, he's been getting more run as well. So as long as, let's see that game over and under. It's potential blowout there. As long as that game stays close, I actually don't mind those ones. And then let's see. Let's look at some underbets that we're getting. Yeah, I don't know if I want to touch this for DeAndre Ayton. We can see minus 136 for the under, 11.5 for the PrizePicks line, and then we can see projected to get 10.36. So we can see why it is being favored as the under. Let's see what he averages on the season. He does average about 10.2. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like one that we could bet the under on. Doesn't feel like a lock, but it does feel good enough. Like, if we were struggling to find, if we have a really good bet that we like and we want to attach a decent bet with it, you could do that. Now let's look at some over bets where the props weren't matching up. All these fantasy ones, we could do that. So if you want to, you can, but let's look at points here. So Jokic, minus 128 to get over 23.2, projected to get 24, basically 25. You could roll with that one. And And then the rest are only okay there, like nothing too spectacular, not really worth mentioning. Let's see some underbets that we're getting. Oh, once again, these are all fantasy score ones. And then let's see here. Points, rebounds, and assists. Scotty Barnes. Yeah, probably not going with that one. Torrey Craig. Yeah, these all seem correct. So probably no need to roll with those ones. And then let's just sort by prop line difference here. See if we have any massive ones. And these are all going to be fantasy points. I'm going to take that off. Then let's see here. So Jamal Murray. Did this get updated yet? That's interesting. Huh. Jamal Murray, points, rebounds, and assists. 30. Average sportsbook line, 32.5. Let's see if that's still there, because that seems pretty crazy. If that's still there. And it could just be a situation in which that came in from one sportsbook. So I'm guessing that's what it is. Now we got DraftKings in there at 30.5. I'm guessing that was what happened there. I was going to say, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, that'll be something I update here in a second. Points and assists. Let's see if that's still there. Interesting. So I wonder which sportsbook is actually pulling in that. It's probably FanDuel or PointsBet pulling in a little bit different. But that's why I like to defer to DraftKings as kind of my go-to one for consistency purposes. Let's see here. De'Aaron Fox. Let's see if this one's still there. And then some bonus as well. $40 and $36. Interesting. So I'd have to see where this one's being pulled in from, but we can see kind of the overforce bonus could be the way to go there. Don't mind it. Let's just flip it real quick. Anything. Interesting here. SGA here, we can see it's kind of a push, slightly favoring the over for points, rebounds, and assists. We can see PrizePicks has it set at 42.5, projected to get 41, basically 42. So it is going to be a tight one, but we can kind of just see that average sportsbooks lines are favoring the over, but we are getting a slight under. And once again, I kind of like to defer to DraftKings Sportsbook. That's why I'm calling it out that way. But a decent line that we're getting here, 1 point edge in a way. And let's see, is this different? 42.5. Is this different than PrizePicks? Unless it got updated. Oh, it did get updated now. Wait, no, it didn't. Jeez. Been going live too long. So yeah, that's an instance where we could potentially bet the unders on PrizePicks or Underdog. Not terrible there. Then let's see. Do we have any other ones for the Thunder? Let's see. Scotty Barnes, Harrison Barnes. Let's check out those two real quick. That's going to be for points and rebounds and assists. But like I said, guys, like it is kind of crazy that we are having that many discrepancies across the sports books already this morning. It does seem like that's simply because of March Madness. So could be something that we try to take advantage of. All right, so Scotty Barnes, 21.5 on DraftKings. Let's see what it is on PrizePicks, 22.5. Once again, it is tight, like very close here, but that's a full point edge. We can see projected get basically 22, so it is tight, but we are getting a full point difference there. The odds are basically saying it should be a push as well. So something you could bet there. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're getting full point edges today as it sits right now. Like I said, it's just, this doesn't happen. This is why I wanted to go live. find that so fascinating that we're seeing this many differences right now. And let's just make sure that's still available and hasn't got bumped. It is. And so, like I just called out here or showed on Underdog, they have it set at 21.5. So if you guys are looking at this, no, Scotty Barnes is going to go off. Bet the over on Underdog. If not, you can bet the under on PrizePicks. That's a full point. I mean, we just don't get that. We haven't gotten that in quite some time. And obviously that prop's been out there a while since I'm finally just getting to it. So just interesting there. And then let's check out that last one that we were getting for the under bet, which was Harrison Barnes. And you also could do SGA points, apparently. Minus 125 for the over at 13.5. We can see he is projected to get around 13.6. PrizePick has it set at 14.5. Let's just double check and make sure DraftKings has that. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if like just deferring to DraftKings as like a consistent sportsbook is the actual way to go. I like doing that, so I kind of know how to properly value it. If we're just going off of like the consensus all the time, it just seems hard to gauge because I know DraftKings is one of the better sportsbooks out there in terms of accuracy. That's why I like to defer to them. All right, so Harrison Barnes, 14.5 on DraftKings. Interesting. Okay, so did this get bumped then? Oh no, just DraftKings is slightly different. Let's see what Underdog has. $14.5. So probably not one that we're going with then if they're all kind of valuing at 14.5. But just interesting that we were able to find some edges there. I'm scared of Hayes. Yeah. No, that's funny. So we had the turnovers here. This is 11 minutes ago. The turnovers for Killian Hayes. And if you are scared of Hayes, yeah, it makes sense to roll with that. Hayes is terrible. I don't. Did you guys see that highlight of Hayes where I wish I could pull it up, but I'd probably get a copyright strike. He I don't know what it was, if it was a pass or a shot. He's like going up and it's just like slips out of his hands and it just goes over the backboard. It was just like, oh man, can't be doing that stuff in the NBA. It's like a Kendrick Perkins. It's probably on Shaq and a fool. No, so anytime like a prop gets bumped that we're chasing the good odds on or like a favorable line, I just stay away from it after that. Yeah, so SGA point prop, you can make that bet as well if you want to. We are seeing that difference there. If you want to make it, you can. So this is honestly the toughest part about doing PrizePicks NBA content and also NBA DFS content. Like yesterday was a pretty darn good day for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's a bunch of leverage spots, and it does seem like right now that's the way to go because you can just gain better edges on like certain situations. And so like this could be one of them where maybe you are running an Orlando stack there. But this is a video that I want to call out and do soon, is that you guys have noticed I've probably been doing a lot more fantasy coverage in terms of fantasy score, prop coverage in terms of fantasy score. And that's because like if we were to enter, let's just say, I don't know, an average unit size, I think for PrizePicks players is $5. If we were to enter a 6-leg bet on PrizePicks at $5, the payout is what, 125, and so we'd be betting on 6 of the fantasy score props to hit. If we were to do that on DraftKings, well, we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even if 6 of those hit, we still need to have 3 other of those hit, and like the difference in terms of like the payouts is the percentage difference in the payout is like extremely different. I think it's like, I'd have to double check this. It's like a 3% likelihood for that 6-leg bet to hit on PrizePicks or something like that. It might be 5%. And if you were to do that on DraftKings, go to the payout for finishing in the top 6%, it'd be like, I think it's like $12 or something stupid. And so to find the difference to make like $125 based off of a $5 entry, you'd have to finish in the top like 0.5%. So it's like it's a big difference. Top 0.05%. Sorry. So that's a video that I want to call out. So like to hit 6 out of 6 would be much better than hitting 9 out of 9, because obviously in NBA DFS to really win significant money, you have to hit 9 out of 9. And so I don't know, that's a video that I want to do. All right, so we got a lot of ones coming in. Let's see. So Fox over 1.5 threes. I don't know. These ones weren't really popping, so let's see. Is it still out there? Let's see. I'll try to cover these real quick, and then got to grind some March Madness. Minus 120, you know, that's okay. I mean, if you like it, it's not terrible. Let's see. Banchero. Yes. And I like, this is kind of like Brooklyn, where it does feel like they're all Brooklyn from, you know, last week and whatnot. It feels like they're all a little bit too low right now based off of the minutes and recent production that they've been getting. I could say that I feel like, you know, 2 out of the 3, Fultz, Banchero, Wagner, even Carter, I kind of like maybe 3 out of 4 game there. If it's Banchero, we'll see. You know, anyone could have a hot and cold night. Like yesterday, Tatum went, like 0 for 8 from threes, and then it was a Jaylen Brown game. So it is kind of feels like we'd be just trying to guess. SGA under points. That is the one that was popping up the most. Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually going to pull this up here real quick. I was actually wondering this as well. So, like with Bam too, it's crazy. Like with Kevin Love on the court, it's just we have seen Bam kind of struggle in terms of expected production. And so that is, I'm assuming, what has been happening with Siakam as well, because obviously, I mean, Jakob Poeltl is a freaking checks all the boxes in terms of stats. And so Siakam is that type of player as well. So I'm assuming it has been changing it. Let's take a peek. So with Jakob Poeltl on the court, Pascal Siakam is averaging 6 less fantasy points per 36 and about a 5% drop in usage with Jakob Poeltl off the court. And let's see here, anyone benefiting from that? Fred VanVleet is averaging 1.7 more fantasy points per 36. So he's been the one benefiting, but his usage is going down as well. Everyone's usage is pretty much down with Jakob Poeltl on the court. So definitely interesting there. I'm assuming all these props that we were highlighting earlier in terms of like the unders, where I'm assuming these are all going to be adjusted too, especially like these first two. You could do points though as well. I mean, that works. And so like, this is a nice little game theory thing that I probably don't touch on as much as I should. Like if we are betting on, let's just say SGA under points, to me, in my head, that only would make someone like, let's just say Jalen Williams and also Josh Giddey much better props. And on paper, we already saw that they were kind of 2 appealing props. So it's almost like we could run a game stack out there. If we are betting on SGA to struggle, I mean, obviously high point total and high expectation, he could play well and still not get there. That's a situation in which if we're saying SGA is going to struggle, I don't mind betting Josh Giddey over or Jalen Williams over. Fred VanVleet. All right, this is the last question. I'll begin out of here, guys. Let's just take a peek at Fred VanVleet. I know I got this question last slate as well. It's OKC. You would assume he'd be able to get there. Averages 7 on the season. Is that 8? Let's see. Yeah, they played OKC thus far. He did. He had 3 in that game. Completely different team. Too early. I mean, I never want to talk anyone off of the prop or anything like that, because for the most part, if someone's asking a comment or a question like that, they are typically seeing an edge themselves. It's not for me, but obviously 4 out of the past 5 games he's been there, easily could have got a push against Denver, you know. So it's a high scoring game, easy matchup. In theory, there's going to be high quality shots available given the matchup. I don't hate it, but I'm probably not doing it. But I also like to do bets that have, you know, 0.5. I want to either cash or not cash. Some people like pushes. If you like that, you can roll with that as well. But that is all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching another hour live stream. I didn't even plan on that. I thought it'd be a quick video. I appreciate you guys all in the comments and in the chat. Let's have a good slate. It was pretty crazy. You know, I've been trying to go live a bunch, but literally the last 3 times I had tried, they had taken away the favorable props. Today, there were just so many favorable odd bets that we were getting. Like literally, you combine the favorable odd props that we were getting today compared to the last 2 weeks, I think we still have more than today than when I was putting out the video. Obviously, that does change throughout the day. It's prop betting. Odds will adjust throughout the day, but probably 20 by the end of the video, maybe even 25. We've been struggling to get 3, you know, for each video. So it's definitely a crazy day. I'm very interested to see if this is something we can do tomorrow and really throughout the March Madness days, like Saturday and Sunday as well. If there are big edges, because sportsbooks are primarily focused on March Madness, that can be a fun thing to track and see if we are getting an edge. But best of luck to you guys today. I know I highlighted a bunch of good props. Personally, there were so many out there that I couldn't really figure out which ones that I like the most. If you guys are watching this video after it's been posted, or, you know, we're in the chat and do have a few bets that you think are locks based off of the coverage, put that in the comment section. You know, obviously we're all trying to cash together. We're trying to win together. We're trying to beat PrizePicks or Underdog. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, like and subscribe. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.